Hey guys, what's going on? It's Verstine. My New Year's resolution is to say my name in my videos because people keep calling me Truth or Talk. That's the name of the channel, not me. And as some of you guys may or may not know, it was started by me and my best friend, and she does some writing and helps me with research and stuff. So I'm co-owner of the channel. I'm not like Truth or Talk, but I appreciate it. It's funny. It's like that dude in Amistad. His name is like Jimon Hansu, but people always call him Give Us Free. Like, that's what I feel like. They're like, hey, it's Give Us Free. He's like, my name is that's not my name. And they're like, yeah, whatever, Give Us Free. So because if you ever seen that movie, he's the slave in the movie that's like, give us free, because he can't speak English. Oh, they all can't speak English, and they figure out what the word freedom means, and they're like in court, and he's putting it together, and he's like, oh, freedom means like, get us the fuck out of here. So he's like, give us free. And they're like, what? He guys, give us free. And so everybody just calls him Give Us Free. Like, and he's done other movies. He's quite a distinguished man. But anyway, I went off on a tangent. So hell must have finally froze over because I decided to get a shirt with sleeves in it. So is it because A, hell has frozen over, B, I rubbed like half my shoulders off doing shrimps and jujitsu, or I don't know what the C option would be. You decide. Or I just like this shirt with sleeves and I decided to get it. Anyway, all right. So now that the ice is broken, I wanted to talk about this controversy that seems like it's going on, or that is going on in the health freedom movement. Whether to be called anti-vaxxer, ex-vaxxer, or pro-vaccine choice. And I guess there are other titles that go under that, but those are the three most prominent ones that that I've come across, or that I've heard. And you know, a lot of people don't like the term anti-vaxxer because they considered it a pejorative, and the people that are, you know, like the fake news nerds and the science bloggers that, you know, like to attack people that question vaccines, that's what they call us. So they don't want to be associated with that word. And you know, and ex-vaxxer is somebody that used to vaccinate, but because they had an injury or they had a bad experience, they don't vaccinate anymore. And pro-vaccine choice means people that want to have a better choice in, or just, you know, freedom of choice, like my body, my choice, basically, when it comes to vaccines. They don't want them forced upon it, or upon themselves, right? So I consider myself an ex-vaxxing anti-vaxxer who is pro-vaccine choice, right? Personally, I don't mind the term anti-vaxxer. I call myself that. And to me, it makes perfect sense, because the word anti means against, and vaccine, against vaccine. Vaccines. So vaccines, you know, I think they're bullshit. I don't see why we need them. I don't beat around the bush, you know. I have friends that don't like to be called that. And if I have anybody on the show and we're talking about that and they don't want to label themselves that, I'll make sure to give them that respect, and not, you know, and be like, hey, you know, I consider myself an anti-vaxxer, but they're pro-choice, or they're, you know, they think some vaccines work, or they think that, you know, they could be made safer. I don't understand how you can make poison safe. But I do give them that respect, yeah, I guess the respect would be the right word. I give them that respect, because you don't really know where people are in their level of consciousness and understanding of this very complicated issue. Now, a learning curve was maybe about a year or two for me before I decided that we didn't need them at all. We don't need them at all. We never did. We never will. Okay? That's where I'm at. But when I first started on this journey, it was because I saw my best friend's son regress into autism. And my cousin, same thing happened to my cousin. I had a friend that was paralyzed by Gardasil. And I mean, I always say the story, but I'm just, for people that don't know, long story short. So at that time I was like, okay, well, maybe it's the MMR vaccine, right? Maybe there are too many antigens, or too many antigens in one vaccine. And maybe that's what's causing the problem. But as I began to research and I started to find out every single component of the vaccine is a problem and causes some kind of like autoimmune disorder or brain damage, and most importantly, we don't need them, right? So if you think about vaccines, they are meant to, according to the vaccine enthusiasts, they are, we were given vaccines because it's supposed to strengthen our immune system in order to fight off other antigens or any microbes that we come in contact with that specific to that vaccine. Now, if you think about it, we only vaccinate for 16 diseases on the schedules that children get, when you're a kid, and they keep increasing it, 16 right now. There are thousands of microbes that could be potentially deadly that we encounter in the environment all the time. We can't possibly be vaccinated for all of those at the same time. It's impossible, right? I mean, so people don't really, it's just little common sense things and little things that people need to realize, that we just kind of accept things without questioning. And I'm not judging people, because I used to be like that as well. I used, until when people start doing their research, see, this is the thing. They don't want us talking to each other. They don't want us making connections. They don't want us asking questions, because when we get together, we start asking, questions, making connections, and we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, we've been around, supposedly as human beings 200,000 years before vaccines were even invented, animals and man and insects, and we all survived without vaccines, and then people bring up, oh, the plague. Well, that's my favorite one, because vaccines weren't even invented yet, so vaccines did not stop the plague, but apparently some people think that happened. And there were other diseases that people died of, because of like famine, which causes you, to be more susceptible to diseases, because there are, you're not getting a lot of nutrition, and and when you don't get a lot of nutrition, you're depleting your body of vitamins and minerals that it needs in order to keep your immune system running, so it can fight off the pathogens that it comes in contact with. Think of like having enough gas for your car. Like, your cells need fuel, and certain parts of your body that function need fuel, and certain vitamins and minerals do particular things to your body to give it that fuel. And if it doesn't have that fuel, it's not going to be able to fight, right? It doesn't have that that stuff to keep it going. It's not going to be able to fight. So you start thinking about all these things, and and it all makes sense. It's really common sense. It's really basic understanding of things. It's not even that complicated, but a lot of people, we're just so manipulated by fear that, people don't stop to think. There are people that, and I'm not judging, but I'm just saying this is how people can be manipulated via fear, is that, when Angelina Jolie had that test done, they were convincing people to cut off their body parts before they were even being diagnosed with cancer. And now it's coming out that those tests are bullshit. And there are people that actually went out and cut off, their breast and other parts of their body because they were afraid of getting cancer. But, I knew that was bullshit from the get-go, because people don't even understand their bodies. They also take advantage of that. So if you think about it, if you're cutting into your breast area, you have a lot of lymphatic glands. You're cutting into your lymphatic system, and your lymph system takes a lot of the waste and stuff out of your body. So if you're cutting into that, you're going to eventually have autoimmune problems. You can even give yourself cancer. And then the people that have their breast cut off and then get breast implants, even if it's silicone, even if it's saline, you're still like increasing your ability to get cancer. But a lot of people don't know this, right? And they're taking advantage of it. They're taking advantage of the fact that people are way too occupied and too, they have so much going on, and they got bills to pay, and they don't have time to do this research to really fully understand this. And then on top of that, they scare the hell out of people. So people just willingly submit, and we're all brainwashed to think that doctors are gods and they can't make mistakes, and that they're omniscient and they're omnipotent. So I mean, it's a whole like series of problems. Now, a lot of people get mad. I will tell people, I don't like being told what to call myself, right? I don't go around telling other people they shouldn't call themselves anti-vaxxers, but there are people that don't want to be called anti-vaxxers, like I said, and that's fine, but don't tell me what to call myself. That's where I get pissed off, okay? That's where when you're like, that's when you're trying to control stuff. And I saw Dr. Shiva talk about this, you know, that there are people that do get in this movement and they feel like they want to control people and tell them what to say. And maybe their intentions, I'm sure, I would like to believe that most people that are in this movement, their intentions are sincere. There are narcissists that like to, you know, come in and try and become stars and try and control everything. And you know, that's just human nature. That's going to happen in every movement, okay? So just because you are in this movement doesn't mean that you necessarily have good intentions or that you are, you know, have selfless intentions. But that's very rare. I think the majority of the people do have good intentions. So I don't really even, I know that that's a possibility, but I'm not really worried about those people. But it does seem like there are people that get into a position of power that seem to fund a lot of these groups, and they want to tell people what to call themselves. And it's getting really annoying, right? And, you know, if they want, like I said, they don't want to be called that, that's fine. Don't tell me what to call myself. To me, I'm against vaccines. We don't need them. They're bullshit. We never did. Like I said, I'm not being around the bush. Also, if people get mad and, you know, and they call you anti-vaxxer, and you're going to get upset that they're calling you anti-vaxxer, and then you're going to tell them not to call you that, they're going to have a field day with that. They're going to call you that even more. So it's like, to me, you're giving away your power by telling them, other people that are attacking you, what you like to be called, because they're just going to reverse it and attack you anyway. Because now they know what gets under your skin. You just gave them a free pass to rip you to shreds because they know what to do to make you upset, if that makes sense, right? So a lot of people also, I've heard, you know, talking about this, saying, oh, the movement's being divided and we all have to think alike. That's ridiculous, okay? This movement is... One of the things I love about this movement is the fact that it's so diverse. It has so many people of different ethnic backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, racial backgrounds, you know, male and female. Like, I mean, every person from different walks of life, different professions all over the world. It's international. So it would be ridiculous to think that all of us have to have a hive mind and think the same. And for me, because this is a war, I think that it takes all types. So maybe we do need the people that are, you know, kind of middle of the fence and they want to be called pro-choice people, which is fine, you know. And we also need to, you know, we need to have these people that are just no bullshit. I'm pretty much like that, you know. I'm no bullshit, no nonsense, that cut to the chase, that don't want to beat around the bush. And it's like, look, we don't need this shit, because it's also indirectly cutting off the conversation that we need to have, that we don't need these things, and that we should have the choice to put them, you know, have them put in our bodies if we want to, but if we don't, then we should have the right to refuse them. And it's also cutting off the conversation of the unvaccinated if you're not really, you know, being sincere about or direct about the fact that we don't need them. Because you look at all the unvaccinated kids that or people that are completely healthy, you know, and that's just totally being left out of the conversation. Because if you're on that middle, I feel if you're in the middle of the road and you're not really kind of, you know, trying to take the middle of the road, you know, you're not leaving that conversation open to be had about the unvaccinated, because you're still saying, oh, well, I think they need to be made safer. Then, you know, okay, then you're still leaving it open for them to make them safer or say they make them safer. But, you know, you're not really giving way to the fact that we don't even need them. And I think that there's some people that really do think that. And like I said, I was there, so I understand, you know. And I think there are people that know that we don't need them, but they're trying to play nice and they're trying to be diplomatic. I don't know who those people are. I'm not going to call anybody out because I really don't know, you know, unless I talk to people. I don't know where they're at. You know, if you're somebody that's a doctor or a scientist and this is your life and you are extremely pro-vaccine and now you're starting to criticize, it's hard to go to the other end of the extreme and be like, I'm completely anti-vaccine. I get that and I respect that. And I also don't think it's healthy for the human psyche to make such a drastic transition anyway. because if that were the case, then we wouldn't be able to have our minds changed about stuff like that all the time. And it was a slow process for me too. So like I'm saying, I get that. But I think once you really start to do the research and you realize all the components of that are in vaccines, you know, you start to understand the immune system. You start to understand that even, you know, injecting something under your epithelial layer is very dangerous, and all the problems that causes, then you'll be like, wait a minute, what are we doing? We don't even need this stuff, okay? I don't think because there's differing opinions about what to be called is going to divide the movement. I know some people are like freaking out. They're like, oh my God, we must stick together. You must hold hands and sing kumbaya. I don't like everybody in this movement because I don't like everybody. Big people are people, right? There are a lot of people I like most people in this movement. I have my thoughts about some people that are prominent in this movement. And, you know, I'm just going to keep my opinions between the people that I talk to off camera or myself. You know, I'm trying not to stir up anything. I'm being very honest about my feelings and about the feelings of other people who feel like they can't be honest about why they want to be called anti-vaxxers because they don't want to be bullied by the people that, you know, are in monetary control, you know, telling them what to say and what not to say. So I you know, but I think that the love that people have for their children and the amount of psychopathy that these laws are going to is too strong, that it's not going. I was interrupted. Okay. But what I'm saying is the amount of love that these parents have for their children, and because of what is at stake, the amount of psychopathy that these laws are going to, it's too strong. I don't think something like that is going to it's going to destroy the movement or divide the movement. There are people that are not going to agree. There are people that are going to fight here and there. There are people that aren't going to get along, but that's just human nature because not everybody gets along. You know, look at civil rights, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, but shit still got done, right? Look at New Jersey. Shout out to New Jersey. Y'all are like rocking it. You know, look at all the people that turned up for New Jersey. The protests and stuff going on in Albany and right now. So I don't think that, you know, we all have to think alike. We all have to get along in order for stuff to be done. And, you know, some of these groups, I feel like I know I haven't joined or haven't reached out to because I don't think I'd fit in. I mean, some of the moms groups and stuff, I feel like they would think I'm too radical. And even just in groups, I've said certain things. I'm like, oh, you can't say that. Oh my God, don't say that. Or I don't believe in playing nice with these psychopaths. I don't believe in going to, you know, these legislators and thanking them for letting me speak when they work for me. I don't believe in kissing doctors' asses when they work for me, right? I don't believe in hurting doctors' egos when they're hurting children, okay? It's like dead and maim people or your ego. Dead and maim people, or the fact that you went to college for, I don't know, over a decade maybe or more, and you got played. That sucks. It sucks for you. It sucks that you got played, but dead and maim people are more important than your fucking ego, okay? And I'm not afraid to say that. But there are people that would be like offended that I dare, like, you know, talk back to a doctor, or I'm not kissing their ass. No, they're people. They don't, you know, and if their ego is too big, and if you have somebody in your family that thinks you're crazy because you question vaccines and you're on the fence, you know that they're bad, but you're on the fence and you want to be called pro-safety, pro-choice. You know, I know lots of people like this, or I've met lots of people like this, okay? I'm not judging you, but I'm being direct in saying you really need to think your relationship, because if your wife or your husband, your significant other, is not going to take the time and sit down and listen to you and see your point of view, but just label you as crazy, you know, or, you know, your brother, your friend, your best friend, your brother, your sister, your whoever's close to you that has known you for years. You've been through thick and thin. You've been through hell and back. You've never done anything crazy. You're not a crazy person, but yet you question vaccines, and now they think that you're like a lunatic. But, you know, there's other issues going on there, by the way, if that's the case. And I'm speaking from my own experience. So, I mean, I've been open about my relationship with my brother and how we don't really speak anymore because of my stance, you know. My health is more important. You know, he gets the flu. If he's going to get the flu shot every year and get sick, that's going to be him. It's not going to be me, because my health is important. My freedom is important. My sanity is important, right? It sucks. And I mean, since we started this channel and this podcast, and I'm talking about me and my best friend April, we've talked about on our podcast. If you want to look at some of our podcasts, you can kind of document our journey from about 2011 to now. We talk about how painful it was, how shocking it was, all the friends we lost, you know, because of our stance. But you know what? Honestly, if you guys believe in LOA, law of attraction stuff, I've attracted even better people into my life. It took a minute, you know, but I've attracted, you know, really awesome people. And I would never give this journey that I've had back for anything, It's made me more empowered. It's made me a better intellectual. It's made me not afraid of propaganda. You know, the news media cannot manipulate me like putty. You know, it's made me question things. It's made me in charge of my health. It's actually helped my health by being on this health journey. So I don't regret any of it, you know. But I guess it's getting too long, and that's all I want to say. You know, please follow us on Brighteon. We're on Brighteon now. I just have a couple of videos up there, but we're on Brighteon, Chute. I think we're on Minds. I should know that, I think. Twitter, we're not really active. And where else? Did I say Chute? I'll put all the links below. I don't know how long this challenge is going to be up. It could be another year. It could be another few hours. I don't know. Shit's going crazy. You know, shit's going down. But that's it, y'all. All right, guys. Peace, truth, and love. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. All right. I was like, I'm able to give a cricket kiss. I'm like, mwah. I'm like, wait. Mwah. All right. Bye, guys.